Hey, hello again. This is Damon Sweeney with GetOverYourExNow.com. And if this is your first time in this series, there's a link below. I'd like you to click that. You can get the booklet on Are You Really Over Your Ex and how to know and exactly how much. It's free, and then you'll also get to sign up and get this series. You'll get an email every day for 10 days for this series about why it's harder to get over your ex than you ever knew, that anybody ever talks about, and the actual way that you can, because there are new breakthroughs and discoveries and methods. Okay, so I'm going over some of the ideas that people have and actually some of the ideas that people don't have, but what's really going on. So one idea that people have is that time heals all wounds. Okay, it's not true. You can scar over, but that doesn't mean it's healed. You can develop scars. You can sort of learn to live. You can limp through life for the rest of your life with those emotional wounds, but that doesn't mean they're healed. Okay, actually healing means it's like they're not there, and you're actually maybe even stronger and better than you were. So there's a reason for that. When wild animals are attacked, say a gazelle is attacked by a lion, and it gets away. Of course, if it gets caught, then that's the end of that story. But if it gets away, and you are one who has gotten away because you're still alive, then the gazelle will shake, will actually literally shake it off, shake off the stress, the trauma, and then just go back to grazing. Human beings, perhaps because we have a more complex nervous system, or perhaps because of something else that I'll mention in a moment, we don't do that. We tend to move to a higher level of sort of ongoing fight or flight or freeze. We live at an elevated level of fight, flight, freeze. And in an earlier video I talked about all the effects of that. It shuts down your brain, shuts down your nervous system, well, it shuts down your reproductive system, your immune system, your digestion, your cell nourishment and repair, and so on. So you're living as basically a shadow of your actual self, of your real potential. So here's an insight that I had when I was thinking about why is it that people, when they're exposed to something dangerous, they have a fear, they become afraid of that from then on. And I decided, had the insight that we have something that I call the Programmable Alarm System. And it's part of our ability to adapt and learn as human beings. That we can go into any environment, any climate, and we can learn what works and what doesn't work and what's dangerous. That might be novel and new to that situation. So we learn how to be afraid, basically. So it's once burned, twice shy. How many times did you have to touch a candle flame to learn not to do that? Probably once. And think about that for a minute, because that's a remarkable kind of learning. It's one-time learning. It lasts for a lifetime. It generalizes through your whole body. You don't have to touch every part of your body to the flame to learn not to do that, right? So one-time learning, lifetime generalizes. It's always on. You never just forget about it. It's never just sort of, oh, what was that about flames? That's so pretty. Maybe no, that never happens. It's always on. Takes priority over everything else. If some part of your body is getting too near a flame, what happens? You pull back. You don't wait until you finish your sentence or till the commercial comes on TV or whatever. No, you just pull back. It takes priority over everything else. So that's an awesome kind of learning. It's different from other normal kinds of learning. And so I call it Programmable Alarm System. I gave it a special name. So that's what's happening. If you're stuck in fight, flight, freeze, it's something that's actually a big asset for you as a human being that you can learn, but it's gone against you because you're stuck in a very undesirable state that makes you pretty non-functional, or much less functional than you could be. So if you're not performing in your life, if you're having trouble at work, if you're having trouble focusing, you can blame it on this system where you have learned to be in fight, flight, freeze that has shut down your brain. Okay, so you have to get out of that. That's what you need to do. And that's why the idea that time heals all wounds is just wrong. You may recover to some degree, but it's certainly not healed, and you're affected for the rest of your life because of this programmable alarm system that has learned to maintain a level of fight, flight, or freeze. Now, I know a woman, and I don't know her story, but I know her, and we run into each other every now and then. And whenever you're talking to her, she's looking over your shoulder. You know, she's looking around like this. And I happen to know that she moves very often. Wherever she is, she's always in the process of moving from there to somewhere else. And so I know that something terrible happened to this woman. I don't have to ask her. I know that something terrible happened to her. And it was shocking. It was unexpected. It was out of the blue. And she has learned that she's just not safe. She's learned that wherever she is not safe, and she has to be somewhere else. And so she's always on the lookout for the threat, and she's always moving from one place to another. Okay, so I hope that's not you, but if you can recognize any part of that in you, in how you've learned to be as a result of this breakup, then that's a sure sign that you are stuck in fight, flight, freeze, reactivity, and you need to undo that. Okay, so please click the link below if you have not already subscribed to this series, so you can get all 10 of them, plus the booklet on how to know if you're really over your ex and how much. It's all free, and I think you'll find it very informative because I'm taking a very different approach to this than anybody else I know. It's much more fundamental, it's much more body-based, it's based on an understanding of neurobiology, it's based on an understanding of evolutionary psychology, of how we are as primitive beings, and then also on top of that, there is a solution to getting out of being stuck and to undoing all of that and returning to wholeness that is far more effective than anything else that you have ever seen or tried. It only takes 4 hours, so you can check that out. Okay, click the link below if you haven't already subscribed, and I will see you in the next one. In the next one, we're going to talk about, what is it we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about exactly how you get stuck. Okay, what is it that's stuck? What is it that's stuck? Okay, that's going to be the next topic. Okay, talk to you next time.